Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Howard Stutz joins us. He covers gaming for the Nevada Independent, here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers. Big R in Sparks is located on Bering Boulevard next to Smith's and across from Reed High School. It's a 50,000 square foot hardware store and a whole lot more. It's your spring headquarters with lawn and garden supplies, power equipment, and outdoor living. Big R on Bering Boulevard in Sparks next to Smith's and across from Reed High School. Big R, hardware and a whole lot more.
Carson Valley Inn, it's your place for the good times. Carson Valley Inn.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the air conditioning back on today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why sweat for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your air conditioning fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, coming to you from the Ahern Hotel in Las Vegas. We are always delighted to welcome back to the program Howard Stutz. He covers gaming for the Nevada Independent. And I just want to thank the Global Gaming Alliance for having this huge conference that gave us a great story that you wrote and a lot for us to talk about. So begin with talking about the Oakview Group. And I'll just let you have the floor. I'll tell you where the commercials go.
Okay. No, Oakview, Tim Lewicki was the CEO of the Oakview Group, well-known arena developer. I mean, this was first, let's go back. The Oakview project was announced a year ago. They talked about, I think, like 25 acres. They're going to do a hotel casino, but also an arena. The arena was going to be NBA ready, and they believe that if it's open by 2026, that's about the time the NBA may start looking at expansion.
And let's just point out that this is south of Mandalay Bay.
Right. This is about 2 miles south of Mandalay Bay on the corner of Blue Diamond Road and Las Vegas Boulevard.
So near Silverton.
It's,
relatively speaking.
Well, it's across from the other side of the freeway from Silverton. It's also, when you look at that parcel, if you look at a map or air shot of it, it's huge. That's also, the back part of it is where the Brightline folks want to put the train station for the Victorville, Las Vegas train stop.
And that's like 100 acres that they've
That's
got, right?
way in the back. So this is a very, very large parcel. But they want to do, that's a separate ownership too. That's where they want to put the train station and possibly an MLS Major League Soccer stadium. So Tim Lewicki's group, Oakview, gets a hold of 25 acres. They announced they're going to do this NBA-style arena. So that was a year ago. Yesterday, he spoke to the LVGEA group about the project. And all of a sudden, they got a lease on the rest of the parcel. So now it's 66 acres.
Which is huge.
Which is a big parcel. It's almost as big as City Center.
Right.
But he also says he's going to build basically the most expensive development in Vegas. And it'll be $10 billion. City Center was about $7.9 billion. So, but the centerpiece is still the arena. and it's going to be NBA spec ready, and they believe they will be able to land an NBA team. But the key point of this was he pointed out that he's not asking for public money for this arena. And it's the same way he was the CEO of AEG, which signed the deal with MGM to build T-Mobile Arena. MGM and AEG funded that. He then eventually left AEG, but Leiweke in his career, he built LA Live, which is now the former Staples Center, now Crypto.com Arena. He built, just recently, took the old Key Arena in Seattle, lifted the roof, remodeled this whole thing, and it's now the home arena for the Seattle Kraken of the NHL, Climate Pledge Arena. He built the arena for the New York Islanders in Uniondale, New York. All this is done he does it privately, and that he has investors, and that's what he pointed out during the talk yesterday at that event.
So something this huge, which in addition to everything else that's going on, is just stunning. And we've known about this development for a while, but over the years we've seen so many developments come and go, but this is a for real.
Tim Leiweke, everybody I talked to in my story a year ago, and I linked to it in my article in the Nevada Independent today, talks about if he says he's going to do it, it's going to happen. Everything he says, he comes through with. So that's why there's really very little doubt that this most likely will happen. He hired Randy Morton from Bellagio to run the hotel side. He hired a woman from Venetian, former head of all the convention business for Shell Nadelson for the Sands when they owned the Venetian. She's running the convention side, and he hired Mark Bedane, the former Raiders president, who basically spearheaded Allegiant Stadium to oversee the arena. So he's got people in place.
So if there was ever a project that really looked like it was going to happen, this one is for real.
I believe it's for real. That's what I mean. There's nothing that has shown to me that it's not going to happen. The question will be NBA team, if the league is ready to expand, who's the ownership of that team? There are a lot of folks, LeBron James said he wants to own an NBA team in Vegas, place for his kids to play. Floyd Mayweather has said he wants to own an NBA team in Vegas. Everybody wants the NBA team in Vegas. Jim Murin, former CEO of MGM Resorts, former chairman, that was part of the reason when Jim was CEO of MGM that they brought the WNBA team from San Jose to Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Aces. MGM owned it for a while until Jim left. And now it's owned by Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders. But the world champion Las Vegas Aces, in Jim's mind, that was a way to go in with the NBA and to show the NBA that Vegas will be ready for an NBA team at some point.
Okay, now the reason I brought up the Silverton, because the ownership of the Silverton are also arena developers. So I'm wondering if there could eventually be a connection there as well.
The Silverton talked about arena for a long time. They were one of the first. I don't know if the gentleman is still the president of the Silverton of the property, but he was one of the spearheads trying to get an arena in Vegas. It just never happened. It took MGM to build T-Mobile with AEG. That's what kind of spearheaded this. MGM had the MGM Grand Garden, obviously, and the arena at Mandalay Bay, and you have Thomas and Mack. You have smaller arenas at the Orleans. You have the what's it called? The one in Henderson. That's escaping me. Dollar Loan Center.
Oh, right, Dollar.
So that's about 7,000 seats. So you've got these smaller arenas. That's where Mark Bedane and Tim Leiweke believe that a 20,000 seat arena built for NBA specifications, built for concerts. Oakview is very tied into the music industry. There's a lot of more room here for more concerts. I mean, look, without Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas wouldn't have gotten Taylor Swift for 2 nights.
Right.
It's sold out,
or BTS.
Or, whatever that is.
The South Korean group, right? But yeah, I mean, and the thing is that, for people to understand, these are not just arenas. They are a huge development around those arenas of all kinds of other entertainment options.
And I'm sure we're going to talk about the A's. And that's something that, who? I don't know. Yeah. But that's something that they talked about, that the arena is going to be part of a campus for the Oakview property. T-Mobile is part of a campus for Park MGM, the restaurants over there, New York.
Oh, yeah.
It's all connected. Allegiant Stadium is getting there. They've bought land across the street. The old warehouse site that across the street, they've slowly been gobbling up. The Raiders are buying those parcels. They're going to try to turn that into some type of village around Allegiant Stadium. I mean, right now parking is pretty much MGM.
Right.
You know, if I go to a Raider game, you park at Mandalay Bay. You park at Mandalay Bay and walk across the bridge. If UNLV football, they actually allowed to use the lots on Allegiant Stadium.
And, you know, that was kind of a thing that started in Reno when we got the baseball stadium downtown. They didn't build parking. They said, you know, it needs to go to all of the casinos, and they've got enough parking to accommodate this. Then, of course, once that happened, then the casino started charging for the parking. Right. So it was another revenue driver for them.
And that's what it's been for, you know, you don't hear the argument about paid parking in Vegas. I mean, it has been a revenue driver for MGM. I mean, you pay to park at MGM properties to go to T-Mobile to see the Golden Knights or whatever events are going on there. You pay to park to go at Mandalay to go to the Aces games. You pay to park at the MGM properties to walk across the Hacienda Bridge, Hacienda Overpass, which is closed to traffic for the Raiders games.
You pay at Bellagio $35 to go and have dinner there.
Yes, I know.
if you don't have the appropriate card.
Right.
So yeah, it's you know, well, we'll get to that in a minute, but a different topic. But the Brightline deal, that's also a huge piece of land. It's not just going to be a train station. It's going to be a whole campus there as well.
Right.
And that would be right next door.
Right. Yeah, be right basically on the same, you know, giant parcel that's over there that's empty. Yeah, it'll be near there, and the Brightline guy still also wants the MLS. He really is pushing for Major League Soccer. You know, that's a ways off still. I mean, we're still trying to, you know, they're talking about right now doing the train station in L.A. from Victorville to L.A. in time for the 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. So that may be, you know, I don't know where we're at yet. I mean, it's got to secure the land. This whole notion of still building this train from Victorville to Las Vegas. I've lived here since December of 1982, and it's been talked about
right.
ad nauseum since then.
Right. But it seems that they are way further along, and they have a track record in Florida of success that says to me that they have the ability to raise the money and, you know, cut the deal.
Wes Edens is a billionaire who owns Brightline, so yeah, they have the ability. And you're right, Sam, they seem to be farther along than any of these other projects ever were.
And, you know, and it still makes total sense, going back to the Tony Marnell days of the Rio, was that, you know, in the Inland Empire, that's where all the gaming cards were coming for the Rio. There is a large population base that you go an hour and you're in Victorville, you jump on a train and you're in Las Vegas instead of being on the 15, which is still an incredible nightmare.
And to get into that some more, I mean, Steve Hill, the CEO of the LVCVA, told me for an interview back in January, the personal seat licenses that were sold along with the Raiders tickets, they figured 20% would be from zip codes not from Nevada. It was more like 40%. That's how, you know, the personal seat license. So you have people from Southern California and Northern California who bought season seats for the Raiders. 9 games. They're expensive, but the personal seat licenses give you the option of acquiring tickets in your same seats for other events at the stadium, certain events. So, yeah, the personal seat license sales for the Raiders were off the charts out of state.
Amazing. Let's take a break. We have so much more with Howard Stutz after this timeout. As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's Development Company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's Development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
Take a look at Pro Group Management and see how your workers' comp requirements can be met head-on. By taking a proactive approach, Pro Group can assure that your company is meeting or exceeding state and federal standards. As you move forward in your industry, Pro Group moves with you, simplifying regulatory tasks, clearing the way so you can get the job done and look to your future success. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Early in the morning or throughout the night, professional truck drivers are on the job, serving you, safely moving freight that's crucial to our economy. From the oldest industries to our newest innovators, from the exotic to the everyday, trucks are everywhere, moving everything. Never afraid to embrace a future that makes Nevada and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Howard Stutz. He covers gaming for the Nevada Independent. One of the things that absolutely tickled my fancy in your story was you dropped in the company called Blue Diamond Acquisition as part of this Oakview Group plan. And the head of that is Scott Goldstein, who is the son of Rob Goldstein, who heads up Las Vegas Sands. What can we infer from this potentially?
Oh, I mean, that's the best speculation of all. As you said, yes, Scott, that company, they sold the 25 acres, but the remaining parcel they're keeping and basically leasing it to Oakview. So they're serving as the landlord, kind of what we see with GLPI and
right.
all the different REITs on the Strip. That's a good question. Las Vegas Sands doesn't own a property, it doesn't own a casino in Las Vegas. Their effort to legalize casinos in Texas failed again.
As expected.
That's just, they're 0 for, they're 0 for whatever in Texas. They are pushing to get a casino in New York, one of the licenses in New York. It's on Long Island in the old, actually we're talking about arena, the old Islanders Arena.
Right.
And that site, I kind of figure them to be a long shot if I'm speculating on it, only because MGM and Resorts World are pretty much guaranteed each getting one of the 3 licenses. The last one could end up going to Wynn, which has the best site over by the Javits Center. So
you prefer that over Caesars site in Times Square?
I don't think I think that's going to lose out. Only the Times Square site's going to lose out just because the Times Square people don't want it.
Right.
So I think that could be the big issue for Caesars. It's a great site. I mean, who wouldn't want to be in Times Square with the only casino in the middle of the only casino in that location. So, but we'll see where that goes. But Sands doesn't have a place in Vegas now. They kept their database for their Asian client customers because obviously they're an Asian company now. Macau and in Singapore. Could they become a casino operator with Oakview with the connection? We'll see. I mean, who knows? That's a great speculation, but it was an interesting connection. I found out that Scott Goldstein is the landlord.
Yeah, several people have said to me that they will not be shocked to see Las Vegas Sands come back to Las Vegas in a different form, and of course they have their headquarters in Summerlin.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised to see them come back. It wouldn't be on the Strip. I mean, that's technically now you're trying to bring the Strip south, so that's technically not the Strip. Where Blue Diamond and Las Vegas Boulevard, but we'll see.
All right, let's take another break, and we'll be right back with Howard Stutz after this timeout.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
The casino industry drove Nevada's economy for decades. By the 1990s, however, the state's sole industry was in sharp decline. Many were losing their homes, many were leaving the state. Is Reno on track to be the Detroit of the West? Was an October 2010 Reno Gazette-Journal headline. Nevada knew it was time for a change and a time to diversify. Story County took that lead, took risks, invested tens of millions transforming its desert into a place of opportunity and a future for Nevada families needing something new. That desert now provides thousands of high-paying tech, advanced manufacturing, and energy careers at companies like Tesla, Panasonic, Google, Switch, and Redwood Materials. Story County transformed Northern Nevada forever, and the tide of opportunity has raised all vessels through construction contracts, high-paying careers, and the power of payroll. Tens of millions have been generated in sales and property tax, permits, and other revenues for Reno, Sparks, Washoe County, and for all of Nevada. Enough, in fact, to generate a surplus after public services are provided. And best of all, a sustainable economic climate has been created, enabling our children to stay in Nevada and live prosperous lives in their home state. Story County, improving Northern Nevada one industry at a time.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Howard Stutz. He covers gaming for the Nevada Independent. The A Stadium, we were in Carson City. Share what you would like about what was going on behind the scenes.
It's fascinating because the way this all played out, and first off, I got to give tremendous credit to the Nevada Independent legislative team, Tabitha Mueller, Sean Galaka, Jacob Solis. I worked with them for, up from here and then up in Carson City, and they did a marvelous job covering not just this issue, but everything that went on in Carson City those 120 days. And look, the A's have been looking for 2 years. I've been on how many times on the show talking about what's going on with the A's. In February, they ended up hiring like half the lobbying corps in Carson City.
Yes, they did.
And then it took till late April 20th, when they finally announced, okay, we have a site, the old Wild Wild West site, 49 acres on Tropicana. They were buying the land from Red Rock Resorts. Well, 2 weeks later, they've now moved over to the Tropicana Hotel, going from a 49-acre site that included this urban village, which was going to be restaurants and retail surrounding the ballpark, to 9 acres, where on the site at the southeast corner of the Tropicana's 35-acre Tropicana site, just 9 acres. That includes the Tropicana Hotel for now. So it was. What it did, it brought down the public money ask from $500 million to $380 million, and it got through. It took a lot of horse trading at the end to get this through the legislature. They brought 2 bills back into that Governor Lombardo vetoed. That enticed some Democratic lawmakers to change their votes from no to yes. You had they raised the community benefits. They really reworked that community benefits agreement. The minimum $2 million a year, but from the A's. So there's some people that think there should be a lot more. So there were a lot of different things that were brought in, and they got to yes. Lombardo signed the bill, but now there's a lot more work to be done.
Okay, for example?
For example, they have to get the FAA approval for this stadium site. Look, the day that the bill language dropped, and the Independent, we broke that story when the bill language dropped, the A's released these very pretty renderings of the site that were, in my mind, complete BS. You had one photo that was just, they took up the entire Tropicana site with the stadium. It was like, that's not 9 acres, that's 36 acres. We don't know what the site plan looks like. The FAA is going to have to sign off. There's the way they have it, with the lighting and the scoreboard. It's not going to be the height. It's going to be the proximity to runway over at Reed Airport. So there's a lot of questions about that. They got to get the community development agreement finalized with the Stadium Authority. They got to get all these different agreements done with the Stadium Authority before they even go to break ground on this. And they have to have an actual plan on what the project will look like. Where they're going to play next year. We're looking at 2028. We're not going to. Don't get your popcorn and Cracker Jack yet. We're not going to see a stadium there for at least till 2028.
It was also interesting for me to observe. With term limits, we have so many new people here, and my thought was the longer this goes on, the less chance it has of succeeding, because the public is not 100% in favor by any means.
No, the A's put out a what was it, like a survey, a poll that was, we went through it. It was very misleading. That it was like 76% of the people of voters wanted to see the A's here. We don't really look. Do we want to see Major League Baseball here? I think people do. but it's hard, the public money. This is originally $500 million. Look, the Raiders got $750 million public money, but that only happened because MGM and Caesars got together, agreed to the room tax increase of about 0.88%, and then it was a sell. This is not room tax. This is just, there's going to be property taxes that go away on that site for at least 30 years. That's a lot of money that's going to go away. There's just a lot of different questions that still need to be answered, as we move forward.
And MGM, the big winners here.
Oh, at 13,000 parking spaces surrounding the stadium, or maybe rooms, numbers of parking spaces. MGM's not even have to put a nickel into this. And they're going to make money off it because of all being right in the proximity to this baseball stadium if it happens. Like I said, look, Major League Baseball will approve the relocation, I believe, but there's still a lot to be done here. And there's still this faction that wonders, are the A's using Vegas as the leverage to try to get a better deal in Oakland?
You think so?
I don't know. I think it could. I'll put it this way, Sam. I won't be surprised if it happens, but right now I think it's kind of leaning against it just because of all the deals that have been struck and where they're headed with this. The A's, you got to remember, we heard a lot from Jeremy Aguero and a lot from Steve Hill. We heard very little from the team president. Nothing from the owner, John Fisher. They did the hearing on Memorial Day, the 29th. The next 2 days later, on Wednesday, we found the A's brass, Fisher and Dave Cavill, the president, wandering through the halls of the legislature to talk to all the lawmakers. Cavill showed up at the next hearing in front of the Senate and couldn't answer a very easy question from Senator Donate. So, yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of selling the A's have to do here in Las Vegas as this goes forward.
And that's where we have to leave it, my friend. But there is obviously lots more to do. Thank you for always doing this. I appreciate it. Great reporting.
Didn't even talk about gaming much.
Gaming. We got gaming covered. Thank you, Howard.
Anytime.
And we'll be right back.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Event Center sits at the heart of the Las Vegas Strip. 2 floors of meeting and event space are ideal for groups and conventions. Stay in one of 200 luxurious rooms and suites. Brand your event throughout the property. Flexible event spaces make for easy planning and personalization. Take over the entire hotel with a full buyout option.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers, coming to you from the Ahern Hotel in Las Vegas. We'll see you on the next broadcast.